Is the Canon RF 18 to 45 millimeter lens the best lens for creators in 2025? Let's find out. My name is Andrew and this is Parts and Tech, where we review some of the world's most popular electronics, tools, and appliances. Today we're checking out the 18 to 45 millimeter, what it's good for, what it's not good for, some of its pros, and even some of the cons and where it falls short. My first impressions on the build quality. It is a very plasticky lens. It's almost a cheap feeling lens, but I do want to remind you that this lens is not one of their L lenses. This is not the highest tier lens that Canon makes. This is their affordable line of lenses. This is a lightweight lens that really does get the job done and does the job very, very well. It's a very good lens. It really feels really sturdy, as you can feel, or not really feel, but see the build quality and the structure here, just how smooth everything does work. You do have to kind of break free the focus, and then you can focus and unfocus on the lens here. It does feel a little bit plasticky. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't, it does. But this isn't made to be their highest end lens either. This lens is made to be a lightweight, kind of everyday walk around lens for somebody who wants to get an 18 to 45 millimeter point of view. And that is a really cool focal length. This is a really cool, really cool range of view is the 18 to 45 millimeter. 50 millimeter is what we as humans see. It's a very natural looking, so it's almost there. It's almost at that 50 millimeter, very artsy look, but you also have 18 millimeter in there. So you can go super wide if you need to. So this lens is gonna be great for somebody who's a vlogger, great for somebody who's maybe a street photographer or something like that. So if you're doing photo, street photography would be great. Even automotive photography or videography would be great. But really I can see vlogging because you can zoom in and get a tighter shot, but then you can also zoom out and see a lot more. Maybe you're holding the camera right here and you need to get a wider angle. This lens is great for that. This is an f4.5 to 6.3, which means it's not gonna be a f1.8 that gets a crazy blown out bokeh, blurry background, anything like that. It's gonna be a little bit less than that. You can absolutely still get that effect, just not as much. Which that's okay, especially if you're doing something like vlogging or maybe landscape photography. You don't need a blurred out background. That's not a problem. And if you're vlogging, you're gonna be right here, which means everything behind you is pretty far. The distance here is short, and the ratio of the distance behind you is gonna be a lot more. So you'll still get a blurred out background. Some of the pros of this lens are that it has RF capabilities, which means it can be mounted on a lot of Canon's newer mirrorless cameras, the RF mount. The other thing is it does have the STM motor in it, so it has a very smooth and fast autofocus. Another highlight is that it is very affordable. So this is an affordable option. You don't have to break the bank to buy this lens. It's a really affordable option and it does a great job at what it needs to do. This lens also has 4 stops of image stabilization, which combined with your camera's in-body image stabilization is going to provide you with a very smooth shot. The first con of this lens is that it is a variable f-stop lens, which means if you zoom in, you're going to lose some light. It's going to go down in f-stop, or frankly go up in f-stop, but it adjusts. There's a lot of lenses out there that don't do that. It's not that big of a deal, especially if you're shooting most of the time outside. Another con of this lens is the build quality. It's not an L lens. It's not the best of the best lens out there. It feels a little bit cheap, but if you can let that go and maybe let go a little bit of your pride and accept that, then it's not bad at all and it functions really well. This lens is for the vlogger. This lens is for the travel photographer, somebody who wants to carry around a light lens and doesn't want to break their back lugging around this massive lens while they're out traveling or running around or doing everything. This is an everything lens. It can zoom and it can go wide. It can do a lot. It's an affordable option. So if you're somebody who's trying to stay on a budget, which is, I think most of us, if you're trying to stay on a budget and you want to get something that can still get the job done and just really provide a great image quality, then this is a great lens for you. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't care about money and you want to spend as much money as you can and you want the absolute best image quality and you want the heaviest lens and you want the lens that everyone will look at you and go, wow, look at that red circle around that lens. It must be a Canon L lens or whatever. This lens is not for you. Please don't buy this lens. You're not gonna like it. This is an affordable option for somebody who wants to use the lens and save a little bit of money, or maybe you don't even use the lens that much and you don't understand why you should pay top dollar for a lens you might not touch that often if you do maybe headshots or you're doing more portraits or anything like that. You might not touch this lens that much, but it's a great option to have in your bag just in case you need a really wide angle lens. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe.